let's get to the story that has got everyone in the nation talking, and residents there are beginning to be increasingly concerned about what happened within the Ablekuma community within a suburb of Accra yesterday. Many residents, they say they've been left traumatized after they witnessed the killing of a policeman escorting a cash-in-transit vehicle. They say the successive gunfire by one of the armed robbers in the midst of this busy road has left them terrified for life. The accident is not the first form of attack, and following the trend that we've seen over the last couple of days, it will not be the last. Across the country, armed robbers have taken on unsuspecting public, killing them in some cases. We'll bring you some of these attacks shortly. But first, though, Maxwell Agbegba, my colleague, has been reporting from the community. He's been touching base with people who've witnessed this Ablekuma farm milk attack.
The fuel station where the Thursday afternoon robbery happened. This road is a very busy stretch, but we're told that at the time of the incident, sometime around 1:30, it wasn't busy. So that gave the robbers the opportunity to carry out the dastardly act. We're told, and from the CCTV footage we have seen, the robbers bolted from the fuel station using this side of the road because these barricades are no longer there. Cross the road from this section, join the other road, and then use the stretch. We are told that they ran away with a motorbike. They sped off on motorbikes, but later abandoned the motorbikes and continued their journey in a vehicle. But the fuel station is not working today. All the people who have been pulling up here to buy fuel today are unable to buy the fuel because investigations are still underway. And as you can see, one of the investigators is sitting with one of the workers, speaking and interrogating her. We are told the investigations would continue until the perpetrators are arrested.
There was no police or military escorts.
Okay.
At that time, there was none of that.
It was just the police
officer sitting at the front. And then what I also realized was it wasn't on something like a bulletproof or a helmet. It was just a uniform, just like that. So and then a gun, AK-47. Yes. So it was not. There was no escorts. Nothing. And then also from observation after the incident, when we saw the body lying in the car, we saw even the windows was rolled down. Then so we wouldn't tell whether it was rolled up. And at that point in time, it was just a rush. It was just a trick of an eye. So I think it's when they were forthcoming and the windows were down. So the question is, at what point because they use the passenger side, and if the door was central locked, at what point it was opened? So there are so many questions to that. So after the incident, in fact, he was gone already. He was gone already.
Well, yeah. You were part of those who came here, those who rushed here after the incident. Did he die on the spot?
He died on the spot. From the point of view, he died on the spot. Okay. And I think they scared everyone around with gunshots. So they gave a warning shots, and we were scared. We were scared.
You were all scared in this?
We were scared. Because if you make a move, they may shoot you. So we were all watching from distance.
Residents have been telling us about how one of the robbers stood right here in this median strip and fired indiscriminately. They tell us that was to prepare the grounds for his colleagues who were then robbing the cash-in-transit vehicle at that fuel station. We are told the indiscriminate nature of the firing resulted in some bullet holes in some of the structures just some meters away from where I'm standing. They tell us that no vehicle could move when that shooting was happening. And after the firing and the rapid gunfire, the robbers bolted on their motorbikes.
Filling station. So immediately I saw there are three in numbers. Yeah. So they entered there. Suddenly I saw one coming. So the one coming come and stand here. So holding gun, shooting. Go. So we were, everybody here selling. Everybody was running. So I slept in my, my kiosk. So they do the, the operation almost seconds. So almost seconds, then they finish the operation. So I saw them sitting on motor going to Ablekuma road. Yeah. So this is family Jansi. So I saw them going to Ablekuma.
Yeah.
That's this thing I saw. I saw him coming from how do you call it? Coming from the police station. So I saw him come and stand here. He was fired. He fired more. He fired. So I saw the bullets finished. That was seeing me. The bullets finished. So he removed another bullet. Then he clocked again. Then he fired. Seconds. Then he go. I saw them. Then they come and stand on motor. Then they go. Yeah, I'm scared. Like I get money right and I move from this area. I will live here.
Residents of Ablekuma Farmbok have been pointing to some bullet holes on some shops and structures here as evidence of the indiscriminate shooting by the armed robbers. A man I've been speaking to here tells me he saw the robbers from a distance and started filming. He says they pointed a gun in his direction and fired.
As the incident happened, I just heard a sound. It was a very loud sound. So I thought it was a fire outbreak at the filling station. So I took my phone to make a video of what will happen over there, because since it's a filling station, I was afraid there will be an explosion. So the sound keeps coming and I saw people running. So I decided to make a video of what was happening. So as I stood at the container right at my left side, trying to make a video, the armed robbers then came out. That was when I got to know that it was an armed robbery case. They then saw me that I was trying to make a video of them, and as they saw me, they turned the gun on me and then gave me 2 shots. And so lucky, being God by my side, I didn't receive the bullets. The bullet went through the container. Yeah, that was what happened. So I tried taking coverage of them, but I wasn't able to get it because as I saw that it was an armed robbery case, and they've also seen me trying to take a video of them. Yeah, so that was what happened. But I was able to go to the filling station and make a video of the police guy that was.
You are one of the traditional leaders.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you are.
I'm a chauffeur for Ablekuma here.
I'm sure you are concerned about what happened yesterday.
I'm at my palace where I hear. Say some robbing happy for here. But since yesterday, I never come here. I want to help. I want to help. When I see any robbing or anybody who is having gun, I have to make police know. Then we arrest them. The only thing I want to do with that, so only thing I want to help Ghana government, Ghana police. I want to.
And you think you have information that can help the police?
I want to now before me to I want to make investigation. So anywhere I can get them, I go let police know.
Okay. Thank you. So you just had one of the traditional leaders from Ablekuma here. He's here actually to meet the police commander for the area.
Yes, sir.
He's sitting in his vehicle. He tells me that they have a meeting and it's about the shooting, that happened. I'm not sure the police commander would want to speak to me, but let's still try. Hello, Commander. He's in his vehicle right now meeting them. Hello, Commander. Okay. He says he doesn't want to speak.
Well, let's get you some data on some of these incidents that have occurred over the last few days. We start off from the 5th of January 2023, and this one happened on the Boku-Accra Highway, somewhere in the Upper East region, where a cargo vehicle transporting cattle from Boku towards Accra attacked. They were actually attacked by robbers. We'll recall that case starting of the year. But then subsequently, there were some more cases that occurred. So right from January, then on the 12th of February 2023, there was one in the Volta region, specifically around 3 suspected armed robbers actually gunned down, were actually gunned down by the Ghana Police Service, or exchanging fire with the servicemen when they were deployed to the area. After the 12th of February 2023, then came the incident on the 22nd of March 2023, almost like on a monthly basis, with this one happening here in Accra again, Dansoman. And we know that mobile money merchants was robbed of some 4,950 Ghana cedis. That the robbers posed as military and police personnel to carry out that activity. So that's it for the 22nd of March 2023. So January, February, March. Still in that month of March, we recorded this Atebubu incident within the Borno East region. A bus driver was shot dead in that process, and the robbery operation was between the Atebubu area and Amanting. So there you have it. For the same month of March, we had 2 incidents recorded. beyond March as well, we know that somewhere when we're wrapping up the month of March 26, thereabout, there was another incident before the month wrapped up. So that one was within the Ashaiman area. The family was attacked by some robbers at their residence, made away with the personal belongings that they had, and inflicted some sort of machete wounds on them. It was another case that became topical in this country. So that's just 3 within the month of March. So January, February, March, we had 3 cases, and some other incidents occurred as well, including the latest that we have. But I want to bring in, of course, people who are have been watching this space, the experts who are beginning to get concerned about this. Dr. Adam Bona is a security analyst joining us. We also have Peter Tobulonchini, who's a former super of the Ghana Police Service and also Member of Parliament for Wild West. Thank you, gentlemen, for spending some time with us. Dr. Bona, let me start off with you. This latest incident, I recall the former IGP, Mr. Kudalo, and proposed that idea of trying to have bullion vans that will be sort of in the form of an armored vehicle. It became topical. I mean, the controversy around it, that some of the institutions dealing in cash did not have that kind of money to purchase these vehicles. But it's becoming evident that something of that sort in terms of an intervention will be very much necessary. You agree?
Oh, yes. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. Condolences to the bereaved family, and condolences to every police officer who is out there trying to protect lives and properties. And also to correct you, that particular directive was given by the former IGP Opombwen when the Adedenko incident happened. So
Kudalo, yes.
Kudalo left long ago. Kudalo came, and then Asante Apietu before. In that order, so it's rather IGP or the former IGP. He gave that particular directive. Also, I have cautioned that we need to be a bit circumspect when we are dealing with armored-plated trucks or vehicles. These are war materials, and war materials such as bullion vans, armored-plated bullion vans. You need a regulation. You need a law to regulate them. But as we speak, I want to believe that the reason why probably that particular directive has not been adhered to strictly had to do with the fact that as we speak, I am not aware if the law or even the draft law has gone to Parliament and is being passed. Because the truth is that if you have an open door policy where everyone brings an armored plated vehicle in the name of CIT or cash in transit, what do you call it, operations. One day, these bullion vans can be turned into war or weapons to destabilize this country. You need to know where you are storing them. You need to know who is importing it. You need to have a law so that when people who are supposed to be using them, people who are supposed to be importing them, go against the law would prescribe punishment, and the law must prescribe how these things are brought in. At the moment, we don't have it. And so when these things happen, usually what you see is a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. Let's do this, without looking at the long-term implications of some of these things. And so mine is that they are important, but it's also important to note that bringing them without a regulation or a law, regulating how they are brought in and, if you break the law, how you are punished, could be detrimental to us as a people. And so mine is that that is one lot of what you call it, the conversation. I have also picked intel that starting today, the number of bullion vans we have that are registered and supposed to be used as CITs, the armored-plated ones, are going to be the only ones that will move cash, and there won't be any police officer sitting in any soft pickup or soft vehicle if it is not armored-plated. We have quite a number in the system, but not as we are expecting. So I think that starting this morning, that I'm told that directive from Intel, has gone to the Bank of Ghana, and they've disseminated it to the commercial banks who are supposed to move cash. The other thing is that if you look at the video out there, it looks like a lot of things don't add up. And I'm happy your colleague Mansola Baba went to the scene, spoke to an eyewitness who said that who opened the side of the window, the glass was opened, the door was opened. Was it deliberate? What happened? What were they there for? Was it some targeted shooting or killing? Apart from the 4 or so people who were captured by the CCTV and seen by eyewitnesses, were there other people who came up with this idea of robbing and killing the unfortunate police officer? These are things that I am expecting the police hierarchy. They have already started investigating it, but I am expecting that the scope of investigations would be widened, because then, this particular type of robbery is, I would say, anyone from the security point of view will tell you, it's alien to what we know, our type of robbery. So usually, if police investigators are going to be very sincere, they will tell you, or investigators or security personnel who are involved in this will be sincere. They will, by the time they bring a closure to a case like this, you usually would notice there is a foreign influence in this type of robbery. So I am bringing up, widening it and saying that I believe the police with the, they have some of the best investigators. They have what it takes. I understand they've already arrested some people who they are interrogating, some, credible sources. And so they have what it takes for us to be able to unearth how did this happen? Because this looks too easy a robbery. I mean, when you look at it, this looks too easy a robbery. I mean, broad daylight, they are no balaclavas, nothing. They get there and they run before the guy who shot the lethal bullet went to that side. The driver had already run out of the vehicle. I'm not by this preempting anything, but I'm only trying to say it looks too easy a robbery. A class 1 pupil who wants to undertake this robbery with a deadly AK-47 can do that. Amateur type of robbery, but you can see that they did it believing that they could get away with their booty. And unfortunately, a police officer had died. But we all know that in the last 2 years or so, the police administration had done very well significantly in reducing violent crimes in this country. And so mine is that these incidents, once a while, we are likely to see it. But the truth is, it is only when they are able to crack them and open them for us to know who did it, that sometimes the criminals themselves who are likely to commit some of these crimes will do them. But I will say that the state must put in a lot of resources into policing. However, how many bulletproof or ballistic vests do we have for police officers in this country? Do we have one-to-one ballistic helmets? Do we have one-to-one? These are things we must know. And so usually when these things happen, yes, we want to hold the police responsible. But we must as well hold the state responsible. Because if we are not putting, our best foot forward, and all we are doing is maybe, for all you know, I don't know, I have some information, but the number of bulletproof vests they have might not be the numbers that we should be. Police is almost nearing 50,000. Do we have 50,000 bulletproof vests? The bank in probably my hometown in Isa, if there's a police officer there, is the police administration able to give him a vest? Is the finance minister giving them money to procure these things to be able to make sure that this needless killing of police officers who are out there, young people who are out there to protect lives and property, where we can bring it to a stop? For me, I think that it's a sad day for everybody who is in security. It's a sad day for every police officer. But the truth is that I do believe that these are professionals. Once in a while, these things of this nature will take place.
Right.
But that is not to say the police administration, in the last 2 years, if you ask me, I will tell you that we got to a point where things were actually getting out of hand.
I get that.
When probably certain things were done.
Okay, this is why I want to bring in Jones Opokuware, who's also joining the conversation. He's a criminologist. And Jones, you've been looking at the mode of this attack by the robbers. They went in straight. In fact, if we can have the visuals on the screen, you see the individuals going in straight for the policeman who was in the vehicle. What does the sign say about this?
Okay, thank you very much, Blessed, and a very good afternoon to you and also to your viewers. And let me add my voice to what my colleague, Mr. Bonner, said. I just want to wish the family of the police officer and also the Ghana police my deepest condolences. But I mean, if you look at the signs of the robbery, in fact, I've been analyzing this video throughout the night, and definitely it tells me that this is clearly an inside job. And I've already made this statement over the period that most robberies, I mean, of this nature, if you look at previous, evidence over the period, if you look at a lot of evidence that we've analyzed over the period, most robbery cases of this nature are actually inside job. About 90% of them are always inside job. So if you look at the way it was carried out within such a short period of time, you could see that this was something that somebody had told them that, look, this is how the operations are done. If you come within this period and you strike, you'll be successful within a short period of time.
Right.
Look, I've been in Accra, been to the scene today, and look, I've been asking people a lot of things within the area, and they tell me that this is a place that this bullion van has been coming to pick money for some time now. So it tells me something. It's somebody within the area, somebody within the vicinity, probably somebody even working within that company, the oil company there, or the petrol filling station there, who has some links to these criminals and probably are giving them information about what happens there in terms of movement of money. And the fact that most of the time the bullion van that comes around is not really, protected.
Yeah.
So it is what you can actually see based on the analysis of the video that this is something coming from within.
And beyond that, you see the kind of vehicle. Okay, they were using motorbikes to carry out such an operation that could land them in jail. Why the choice of a motorbike, by the way?
Well, they are using motorbike because, you see, most of the configuration of our roads, and our exit routes are very busy these days. So you see, when you look at, when I came to the area, I could see that is a very busy stretch where there is a lot of traffic. So one easy way for them to get out of the crime scene within a period of time is to use the motorbike, because with the motorbikes, they can be able to meander through the heavy traffic and get away from the crime scene even before the police officers came there. And if you look at some of the information I have, there were some police officers who seemed to be around the area, but they said that where they were facing, they needed to go around and go and turn and come back to the scene because they were in a vehicle. So it should tell you that the people might have studied the configuration of the area in terms of the movement of flow of traffic and use motorbikes as a preferred mean, because that is what will help them to get away from the crime scene. And you can see a pattern, because over the period, if you look at most of the street robberies that we've had from 2021, 2022 to now, the preferred means of transport for these criminals are basically motorbikes, because it's an easy way for them to get out of the crime scene before the police get there.
So are you saying that this very area we are seeing on the screens now, in terms of access, it will be difficult technically for any security person to have intervened at the time the robbery incident was taking place?
Well, they could have intervened. If they were very close, but it depends on where they were positioned. Okay, so if you look at the street, I said I'm
asking the question based on what you're telling us now, that the where, as you're learning, this is unverified information, but as you've gathered, as you're telling us, the where some policemen around.
Yes, they said they were in a vehicle. When they were called, they said they needed to go and meander before they come, because of where they were positioned. Okay, so I'm just saying that because of the configuration of the area, it makes it very difficult for you to use, for instance, a car when you have to meander your way through. But motorbikes are key, because motorbikes can go through heavy and thick traffic situations. And once you are able to meander your way, you can easily get away from crime scene. So, and it is not only this place. If you look at most of the street robberies that we've seen over the period, that is the preferred means of transport for the criminals. They prefer that because it is an easy getaway, means of transport for the crime scene. And it is not, you cannot do what we call a hot chase with a car in very thick area. Okay, so it's very important. That is why I'm very happy that the IGP is coming out with this motorbike, on the streets. Most of the time you see a lot of police people on the streets on motorbikes. I would have wished that whoever was there, if there were some security people, as I was told, probably within that area, I would have wished those people were using motorbikes. And if they were using motorbikes, probably they could have chased these criminals along the street. But once they were in a vehicle, from what I was told, and they were a little bit far from the scene, it would be very difficult for them to meander their way to the crime scene.
Quite a tragic event there. But let's look at policy and how we can reform. Dr. Bona, the issue about motorbikes. This concern and conversation has come up. Some cities have completely done away with the use of motorbikes, and especially for, commercial or even private reasons. What do we do at this point, knowing that there's a risk involved, looking at our traffic, the nature of traffic here in Accra?
Well, it's difficult. To add to what my colleague on the other side said, it's difficult to do this type of robbery, in a vehicle. So since time, even sometimes in the advanced, countries, sometimes some of these robberies are done, and the getaway means could be a bike where you can easily get away. And so it's a preferred means to, as he said. What I must say is that apart from trying to look at the policy of, motorbikes in the country, the truth is that you can't stop. It's a preferred means of transportation. So you can't say people shouldn't ride. But what we need to do is to be able to identify all riders and be able to search them. I think over the period, the police visibility, they are in most major intersections. I'm not sure about that area, but they are in most major intersections. And what they do is to observe their sidearms, and they are able to do it. I don't know whether they were in that area, but from what my colleague is saying, the officers were not very close. The other thing too is that the risk involved in shooting innocent people and killing them in broad daylight. Because you can see people, once they had the gunshot, people actually started decking, but if they get there and they would enter into a shootout with them, usually officers would be trained not to engage in a populated area like that. And so they would have attempted to chase them and maybe attempted to gun some of them down. But if you get into a situation like that, would you want to shoot and miss and kill an innocent person? No. And so we need to look at that. The other thing is that illicit firearms. I serve on the board of the Small Arms Commission on behalf of CSOs. And the truth is that we have a draft law, a draft deal that is going through the process. What I will say is that there are too many illicit firearms in the hands of, people. Too many illicit. And some of them are dangerous submachine guns and machine guns in the hands of people. Until such a time that we are able to get this draft deal, trying to regulate the acquisition and ownership and training of, those who want to acquire firearms, those who want to import them in bulk and all that, we are going to be recycling this information. And I'm actually coming out of an ECOWAS meeting in one of the way. The ECOWAS group, they are here, and we've just gone through a 3-day workshop on small arms and whatever. And one of the reasons they are here is to help and see how we can get the bill that we have done, we put together, and is supposed to be passed into law, how we can get it passed into law. Until we do some of these things, it is going to be difficult because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is carrying a weapon. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and some of these people are criminals. Some of these people are amateur. The truth is that everybody is attempting to register a weapon. Sometimes people die, and we are not able to follow up and retrieve these dead people's weapons. And the weapons end up in the wrong hands. And so, but the law, the draft law we have, by which has been put together by the Small Arms and Light Weapons, together with CSOs and other government agencies, together with the German government, European government, and all these people, if this is passed into law, blessed, I'm telling you that I am sure in the next 10 years, this issue about illicit firearms and gun trading and all that would be brought to the barest minimum. Because every now and then, someone wants to own a gun. And we don't know what happens when some of them even apply them legally. Sometimes they lose them and they never go to report. And maybe we are not able to follow up. So whilst looking at motorbikers and policy and other things, I would want us to also speak about the draft deal that would enforce, some of these things. There are laws to do this. but the laws are in pocket, and it's not so stringent. So it's difficult to say we will do it. Unfortunately, maybe I serve on the board, and so I'm able to speak to these things and say, I would urge government, and the powers that be, to look at this bill, which is still in the bill, is a draft form, and put it through, so that we will, the needless acquisition and the needless use of firearms, illicit firearms, in killing police officers and sometimes galamsey and doing all manner of things, will be regulated, and probably we can strengthen the structure and the regime of gun ownership and gun usage in this country.
Okay, I want to wrap up with Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware. Let's look at the possibility here in terms of what the police may be on the lookout for in unraveling those who carried out this very attack. What are some of the likely giveaways, leads that will help the police to crack this case?
Well, I'm of the view that, the police should quickly move in, and I'm told, in fact, because when I went to the scene, I saw certain activity that suggests to me that there were some undercover police people there trying to listen in and also gather some information, which is good, but there are people within the setup, the institution where the activity took place, that needs to be questioned properly, and also even the driver. I don't know whether the driver has yet reported himself to the police or reported the incident to the police. He needs to be talked to as well. Apart from that, my colleague has said that we need a lot of policy, we need a lot of review on how the police is supposed to carry out the operation when it comes to the movement of cash. And I've said this over the period. When 2002, 2021, a lot of issues of this bank robbery started, I made a point that we have to review this process where we make police people sit in front of bullion vans. Because if you look at the video, you could see that the police had, virtually no time to even respond, even though he was armed. And that is very dangerous. So why can't we have a situation whereby, for instance, this cash can be followed with some unmarked car or with police in muftis, where they can follow this, so that when the attack comes on the bullion van, the police have a lot of time to respond and to engage the criminals. If we continue to do this, look, we must learn. We must get into the psychology of these criminals and understand how they operate, so that we can devise certain, strategies that we can face them. If we don't learn from mistakes and from the experiences of the past, and we keep on doing the same thing, trust me, we are not going to get any results, because we cannot do the same thing and expect different results. For me, that is a suggestion I'm just giving the police. We need to revise the way we let police people sit in front of bullion vans. These are not even bullion vans. These are cars that are basically, rickety cars that have been discarded and that is used now. And I think that it is not fair even to the security personnel. It is not even fair to their families. And the police will have to look at that.
But my question earlier about the leads that could help the police unravel this case faster.
Yes, as I said, they need to talk to the driver. For me, it is very key. They need to talk to the people within the vicinity. Okay, and also people working within the institution. The filling station, because I've already said that a lot of these crimes are basically inside jobs. So is there someone within who is giving some information to some of these people? Are some of the people working there probably connected to some of these criminals? It is very important we start investigation from them, and then we can get to the driver, and then we can be able to get some.
Okay, I wish we have much time to discuss this, but I'm grateful to Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware and also to Dr. Adam Bona for joining this conversation.